Hoseok was bouncing on the chair in attempt to free himself. His hands and legs both were tied with the handle of chair. In the whole dark basement there was no source of light except from the light bulb directly hung upside at exact upon his seat, giving him more headache. Hoseok woke up an hour ago and is trying to understand what the actual hell is here. He was just going to his home after that incident. It's when Hoseok realized that what happened in the hospital. His heart shattered at the thought of Yumi deceiving him. He thought of him as an innocent person, a friend on whom he started to trust more than anything else. But all of this was lie. For a minute, Hoseok forgot that he is kidnapped. His emotion made him all weak and fat tears started to roll from his cheeks. It's what he hated the most in his life: betrayal, lies, and liars. And Yoongi was everything. Still, he could not find out. How can he be this much fool to let others take advantage of him? Hoseok's heart thumped out of his chest when the door of the basement suddenly opened with a hard kick on the rusty iron door. Now Hoseok was feeling like his life is coming to an end. Who captured him and what are they gonna do with him? Suddenly, the basement was lighted by so many light bulbs. And that's when he saw a man around his appa's age was just coming closer to him. And with him there is a one more man around his age. It's when Hoseok recognized that it was Yoongi, who is looking like a gangster right now, with long hair and black leather jacket and boots, with some tattoos on his neck. How in the hell Yoongi managed to hide them in the past month? Hoseok didn't show any traces of them before, and Yoongi is here, it means Yoongi was the person behind this. Hoseok never felt this much rage and anger towards someone in his whole life, not even when his appa never cared about his mother. If his hands would free, he will kill him right now without second thought. He came out of his bubble when he got a hard punch directly landed on his face. His face moved in opposite direction due to the force. It was that old man who later on grabbed the collar of Hoseok and literally choked him. Hoseok was trying hard to breathe in the hold of that man on his neck, but just at the moment he thought that he had no survival, that man left his hold on the neck, making Hoseok cough violently and gasping for the air. Why? Hoseok managed to say after 2 minutes of the horrible incident. "Are not you son of junk?" Hoseok admits, shaking his head in fear. "Then it's valid reason to chop your body and feed every part of yours to the street dog," the man said, putting the sharp knife on the neck of Hoseok, who felt goosebumps in his whole body. The fear of losing the life is the worst fear, and that too in this much horrible way. At this point, Hoseok thought it was better to get killed in the road accident or heart attack rather than being meal of the animals. His whole body shivered at such thought. "Don't you want to know why I hate your father?" the old man said, taking the knife back from the collarbones of Hoseok. "What?" asked Hoseok with his lips trembling. "You know what? Your father is an asshole. There was a time when we used to be best friends, but your father backstabbed me, just to be a rich man what he is today. So now it's time for him to pay back. And what can be more worse than crying on your own son's funeral?" With that, old man backed away and whispered something into Yoongi's ear before going out. Now Hoseok was staring deeply at Yoongi, whose expressions are firm. With that, Hoseok curses with the content of his heart. Meanwhile, Yoongi is sitting on the chair, swaying the gun in his hand. After some minutes, two bulky men comes inside and stands in front of Hoseok, who gulped thickly after seeing them. Are they really gonna chop him? Hoseok felt like to vomit just thinking about his possible future. Yoongi, Hoseok let out a loud cry in front of Yoongi, who is standing some meters away with no expression on his face. After some seconds, Yoongi comes towards him. At this point, Hoseok thought maybe Yoongi will save him, but on the very next second, he felt like to break the jaw of a dog. "Beat him as much you want, just don't kill him for now." With that, Yoongi marched outside. Hoseok just burst into a loud cry, in anger, in frustration, in sorrow. He just can't believe that it is what he got for helping others. Hoseok could not cry more in grief because his next cries were full of pain after getting punched on every part of his body. He never felt this much pain in his whole life. Soon blood was coming out of his nose and mouth, and after the hell of torture, he becomes unconscious. Meanwhile, Yoongi was now talking to his boss. "But sir, it was never a deal to kill him." Yoongi punched the wall after listening the next command of his boss, who now wanted him to kill Hoseok. Why? What's the problem? It's not like killing a is new job to you. Now I change my mind. I want to give him the most painful death, and I know there is no one better than you in this job. So do it, and yes, pictures are quite satisfied. Son of Chun, brutally beaten. Just kill him, Yoongi. The old man smiled and tapped the back of Yoongi and went from there. Yoongi didn't want to kill him as he had nothing personal against the boy, but it's what his work is calling for. He will surely feel bad for killing him, but this guilt will go away within some days. With that, he asked to prepare a last meal for his friend before setting him free from this world. It was dark outside. Hoseok was laying on the floor with his body hurting from the pain. He can't even feel his body. Only his mind is flashing every picture and moment of his life in front of him. His whole body was numb and his ears perked when he listened to some footsteps. Yoongi was coming at his direction and Hoseok just bitterly smiled at him. Yoongi was now standing in front of him with a plate in his hand, but Hoseok's appetite was long gone. At this moment, he wanted nothing more than a quick and normal death. Yoongi bent down to his level and made him sit on the chair. After some minutes, Yoongi came back with a water bottle and poured it on the head of Hoseok, who shivered due to the effect of freezing water. He chuckled, remembering doing the same with Yoongi, and felt guilty for doing that. So he muttered a small sorry. However, Yoongi didn't mind him much and wiped the blood from his face. Eat it, said Yoongi, giving the plate to Hoseok, who didn't even had a stand to hold plate. So Hoseok just shakes his head a little. Look, don't be so fisky. It's your favorite food and last meal too. So eat it, otherwise you will have to die with your stomach rolling. With that, Yoongi shoves the food in Hoseok's mouth, whose whole face and every bone was hurting like hell. With too much difficulty, he eats 1 or 2 spoons rice, but later on chokes on his food. Yoongi gives him a glass of water and sat on the chair. You know I'm here to kill you, speaks Yoongi, but Hoseok just chuckles. Then why are you telling me? Just do your work and set me free from this pain. Hoseok shot back, but regretted when he felt an immense pain in his jaw and whole face. Yoongi chuckled at that. I was just saying that it is also not in my hands. I am the second most powerful person after the boss, but still he is the first one. So I need to do it, but I can do you a favor. Let me give you a quick and less painful death. With that, Yoongi pulled out his gun and Hoseok felt like his breath will be stuck at any time. And as soon Yoongi pulled the trigger of the gun, Hoseok's body fell on the floor after getting a jolt and immense pain in his body. Go and tell the boss that his enemy is no more. With that, Yoongi smirks and bends at the level of the Hoseok and pats his friend. You are such a good friend and nice human. May God never birth people like you, cause at last you will be suffered through people like us.